Hey everyone, what's going on? How you doing? What are you up to today? Well, I hope you take a few minutes and listen to my interview with Ted the Nugent, the wild man, the crazy guy, the loincloth, the bow and arrows, right? I did this interview with Ted in June of '80, right when the Scream Dream record came out. I've always liked Ted. I thought he wrote some very cool guitar riffs. Fun guy. Politically, maybe he's not your cup of tea. He was there in the '80s, and he made his presence known. Quick story. So I was difficult to explain. I was supposed to interview Ted for Guitar Player magazine. I never did the interview. The interview came out and my name was on the story. I look at it and I go, what the hell? Obviously, Guitar Player had made a mistake. I never did the interview. I run into Ted a few minutes later, and he comes up to me and goes, "Oh, hey man, great story. I love the story, And I'm a deer in the headlights. I'm a target out there in front of Ted's bow and arrow. And anyway, man, weird story. But Ted was always cool for me, and I think you'll dig listening to this. So sit back, have a bag of potato chips or a cup of coffee, and check out the Nuge. Thanks.
I come in this goddamn pickup truck that you could have drove a limo under. It's great.
And the Jeep was behind you then, right?
The Jeep was behind me, yeah.
The crowd worked out pretty good.
Fucking crowd went nuts.
I wonder if they had any pictures.
A lot of pictures. We got a lot of pictures. Epic Records got a lot of pictures of it.
Well, maybe I'll get some from you.
Yeah.
I can give it a call, man.
We got a lot of pictures, and I'm sure they'll be placed.
All right, sounds great.
Well, you live it up, man.
Go party tonight myself.
When we get in this neck of the woods again, we'll look for you.
Yeah, do that.
All right.
Appreciate it if you would. Take out Fort William.
There you go.
Get up there in the hills.
I'll be ready.
All right.
All right, live it up, man.
Yeah.
All right, Steph, this baby rolling.
Baby's rolling.
I'm all yours. You got the questions, I got the answers.
Alrighty.
I've only been up since 7 o'clock this morning, did a TV show, did 4 or 5 newspapers, 4 or 5 magazines,
Really?
a radio show, and Earth News, and now I'm all yours.
You came to town just to do some stuff?
Well, I came out here originally to do the Grammys. They called me up to present the Rock and Roll Awards and the Grammys. Did you see that the other night? Oh, it was great. I was terrific. I just got on and looked good, that's all. I didn't really make any trick moves or nothing. But I presented the best male rock and roll vocal performance, according to their decision that we give it to Bob Dylan. I had a good time.
Who else was up for that?
Joe Jackson, Rod Stewart, and Frank Zappa for Dancing Fool.
Yeah.
I mean, those people missed the fucking boat or what? Where's Steven Tyler? Where's Bond from AC/DC? Where's Ted Nugent? Where's fucking Plant and Jagger? You gotta be kidding. Shattered beat out any vocals that they...
Paul Rogers, anyway.
Yeah, all those people.
Did you say anything to him?
Well, I mean,
Is it your
I
place to say
can't...
something?
Well, I didn't feel it was of any consequence. I mean, obviously, it's not a conclusive finding panel to find out the favorite rock and roll performance or the best descriptive rock and roll performance on earth. It's basically a unique and self-appointed concept, and it's of no consequence. But hey, listen, chance for me to get my puss on the TV, I'll jump on it, man.
Have you ever been up for a Grammy?
No, God, they don't have any categories strong enough, do they?
They don't.
They don't have any balls to the walls of the year award.
They have instrumental categories in terms of guitar players?
No,
No, they don't.
instrumental compositions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no individual artist instruments.
So you're going back home when, tonight?
Going tonight, yeah. Going home, spend 30 days and 30 nights with the chillin'. Of course, I'll be spending some time in New York finishing the mixes of the new album and things of that nature. We'll be doing a film footage of a live stage, soundstage rendition of the new material in Ann Arbor next month for different uses across the country.
A video?
Yeah.
For a promo type thing?
Right, yeah. All kinds of uses.
Foreign markets.
We're also working on a concept of putting together a feature-length film of live concerts to distribute in the markets where you just can't do concerts. You know, your real small cities and stuff like that.
So video is becoming more and more important
Oh yeah.
in the industry.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, definitely. I've always considered it majorly important with me because I just come off good live. I can come with some good licks.
So tell me a little bit about the album. It sounds
The
interesting.
fucking album. I'll play you a couple. Now, this is real rough. These are just rough mixes, but this will blow your dick away. You got that on?
Yeah.
The album will be called Scream Dream. It might be called Wango Tango, but this first song is Scream Dream, and this is what happens when you put the needle down on the new Ted Nugent Scream Dream album. You can tell it's got the balls, man.
Great.
The reason the harmony vocals were so loud is because we had just recorded them, and this was for me to listen to the harmony vocals with. And obviously, I don't like them. But the album is just sheer glass meets metal meets locomotive head-on collision rock, you know. I mean, it's just the ballsiest shit I've ever written.
Is it really?
Scream Dream, Wango Tango, Violent Love, Spit It Out, Come and Get It, Don't Cry, I'll Be Back Before You Know It, Baby, Your Love Is Like a Tire Iron, just fucking
Those are song
12
titles?
monster songs. Yeah.
12?
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to probably narrow it down to about 10, but we got 12 so far. The best thing I've ever done.
Is it?
Best thing.
Great.
Yeah.
It was done where? In New York?
We started in New York at the 30th Street facility, CBS Studios. We did the basics there in 2 weeks. We finished it in 1 week down in Miami, and we're all done. Just got to mix it now.
Okay. Who is it the same band?
Yeah, same band as the State of Shock album. Except on the State of Shock album, we had a fill-in bass player by the name of Walt Monahan. Because I was in the transition of bass players at the time, and I was looking for a Dynamite live bass player. But at the time, I needed a Dynamite studio bass player, so I took Walt for the studio and hired Dave Caswini from Detroit, who is now both live and studio, and he's doing his first album with me now on Scream Dream, and he's a stone soul motherfucker.
Right. So when were all these tunes written?
These tunes were all written on the road last summer and last fall, finishing our tour out, except for Scream Dream and Flesh and Blood, and they were both written just before we started recording, just about the middle of January. I just got into rehearsal one afternoon and started pumping, and that Scream Dream that you just heard, that's Scream Dream. And I think this next one's Flesh and Blood. Unbelievable licks. Fuck me. Flesh and Blood. Another love song, you know. So every song in the album is just like between a rock and a hard place, man. The greatest.
How does a Nugent song evolve? Does it come from a riff, or does it come from a song title? Or?
No, it comes from a riff. It comes from an attitude. You know, it's on the road. You go into the dressing room anticipating the night's events, and you just plug into the amplifier in these little linoleum concrete cubicles that you tune up in, and the ricochet factor is strong, and you just start blasting out, and these licks just flow. They just come pouring out, and you go to the sound check, and you say, "Boys, look at this," and you teach the boys the song, and then it kind of induces an image to some degree of a song title, and the song title evolves from the spirit of the lick. That's capital L, capital I, capital C, capital K, and from thence comes the lyrics based on whatever I'm talking about.
So all your songs are worked out before you go into a studio?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I still am in the youthful experimental stage with solos and patterns for the solos and stuff, but for the most part the song is down pat prior to walking in to record it.
Has each one of your albums done successively better in terms of sales and
Not in terms of sales. I think there's been in my own mind a succession of material that I can sink my teeth into. I mean, the number one selling album so far is Double Live Gonzo. Weekend Warriors came out after that, and that sold fine, went over 1.5 million. State of Shock is approaching 1 million, which of course is reflecting industry standards recently with the 40% plus drop across the board, you know. So that's of no consequence. But they've all done just fine. And I think on the State of Shock, my very best song ever may be, and that's Paralyzed. And I think I've even beaten Paralyzed on this new album with Scream Dream and Wango Tango.
I want to tell you, I thought it was incredible.
That was good.
God,
That was interesting,
it was
wasn't
incredible.
it?
I mean, just incredible.
Yeah. It's what the song should have sounded
I
like, right?
think so. Was it just an idea you had to
George
do?
went, God, I wish I could have done that. Yeah, it was just one of those classic guitar licks that I just had to play. I played it when the Revolver album first came out, and I wanted to record it all my life, so I did.
It was great. The little...
Sure.
Perfect.
Little tricks, man. Really came across, man. I loved it.
Is Paralyzed the first song
First song on the album.
with the great guitar on there?
Yeah, the fucking wah-wah
It is.
escape guitar.
Yeah.
Fucking licks are unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Great album.
Great album.
Great album. I mean, it was Nugent, but a little more...
It had other elements in it. You know.
Uh-huh. This one seems to...
Be just blast your
Take
brains
off the
out
other
again.
Yeah.
But again, it's the name of the game is material. You know, it all depends. All depends how a guy is writing.
Mm-hmm.
An album reflects current writing capabilities and current writing ideas. And the new album just happens to be flesh and fucking blood, Jack. I mean, it's just really some steel, man.
Have these same producers work with you?
Yeah, this will be produced. Well, basically, Steve, I produce the fucking albums. I mean, I write out outlines. And here's the new album on paper. And everybody gets a copy of this. And they will also receive as specific notes for the mixing until I show up.
Oh.
So, you know,
So this is going to all the engineers, all the producers?
all the engineers, all the producers, all the musicians, all the crew,
Really?
managers.
Do you know of other musicians that work like this?
I don't know. I don't know.
I mean, I've never seen it done.
I can't imagine it ever has been. That's just how I do it. I don't want any questions, you know.
That's great. Would you mind putting on tape, going through this and verbalizing a little on
No,
tape?
no, not at all.
Could you do that? Just
Well, as
talking down each track and...
All right, the names of the songs are Scream Dream, Flesh and Blood, Don't Cry, I'll Be Back Before You Know It, Baby, Violent Love, Wango Tango, Come and Get It, Hard as Nails, I Gotta Move, Terminus El Dorado, Can't Stop Me Now, Spit It Out, and Your Love Is Like a Tire Iron. And there's another one that's not on here called You Can't Be What You Eat or I'd Be You Baby. Which we're not sure if it's going to be on yet. And I basically run down a general approach of the album that everyone involved, from musicians, engineers, and producers, and managers should know. And on this one I wrote down that the general LP sound and mix notes direction should be a thicker blend on rhythm guitars and bass with a more concern on the bass guitar sound so that it has more dimension and more presence so it can blend with the rhythm guitars to reinforce the rhythm.
Is that something that maybe you felt was lacking on this?
I felt that it wasn't lacking, but I think we can improve on it. I thought the rhythm was real strong in the State of Shock album, and on the Ted Nugent album especially, and on the Cat Scratch Fever album especially. And I wanted to take the best of all those worlds and perfect it. Bass tone should be improved to strengthen the vocal performances and delivery of the vocal is most important. Intensity plus. When there's a lyric line, bite the lyric line, chew it up, and just show it, but then swallow it. I mean, I want to deliver the words. If there's going to be the word knife comes up, I want to hear it cut. Look like you want to tell me something.
Yeah.
Just tell me.
I really dig this. I mean, I think
Fucking A, my life, boy, you kidding me? Then I run down each song specifically. For example, it says procedure, Scream Dream, the key of A, vocal Ted, basic track Ted, Cliff, and Dave, overdubs, doubling the first rhythm guitar, solo guitar and fills, double some of the solo licks, a lead vocal, doubling the lead vocal in sections, and a possible two-part harmony in the chorus. The sound approach. It should sound basically like the Out of Control song on the Cat Scratch LP, with the rhythm guitar sound played through a Fender twin reverb amp, my Birdland playing at one time, and my old Les Paul with full gauge strings playing at the second time.
Really?
So you get that crispness of the Birdland and the depth of the Les Paul, which I can get on stage with just the Birdland because I got 10 amps. But on a little teeny microphone, and a little teeny speaker, and a little teeny record, you gotta make up for that. So I do it twice, sometimes 3 times.
Really?
The solo guitar will be played with my Bell amplifier and a Fender, dual mic'd with my Birdland. These are all things that I've learned over the years that get the best sound, that get that real biting sound. The vocal scream on the intro with the scratch guitar and the slide guitar should be done in a way that the vocal can be double tracked and phased so that it sounds even more screamy, and it should be blended with the slide and the scratch guitar. The slide guitar should take the very high frequency limit range, the scream should have the middle range, and the scrape guitar, scratchy guitar, should have the bottom end. So you get a full dimension just on the scream.
Great.
So the minute the needle goes down, you got all the dimensions. The bass sound I go into should be percussive and growly to spread and widen and deepen the guitar line. The drums should be the usual big sound, but blended inside with the bass and guitar. Cracky and congy snare drum. It should go gong, gong, gong. Be careful to keep the hi-hat down in volume. These are little things that I think are necessary for that song. Next song is Flesh and Blood. Key of A, vocal Ted. And I go down that same basic approach. I describe the lead guitar sound, the amps to be used on the lead guitar, the effect on the guitar, the effect on the bass, the sound of the bass, the drums, the vocals, the background vocals, everything. I go into a vocal description here, very heavily affected on the approach of the King Crimson 20th Century Schizoid Man sound. And I keep underlining words like intensity. It must be delivered. You can't read the lyrics. You can't just play the part. You must hammer. And I write that down. Hammer, boys. I do that on all the songs. Here's an interesting one back here. A song called Terminus Eldorado, key of E, vocal by Ted, in a very black frame of mind. Rhythm guitar, basic black. Solo guitar, very black, slightly drugged. Bass and drums, The Temptations on a binge. Vocal approach, black on black, delivered by a Maasai warrior in a black 57 Cadillac on a full eclipse of the moon with a black girlfriend and her black cat, followed by a coal truck and a black velvet billboard in the background with your eyes closed. In other words, I want this to have soul.
Right.
Chick vocals should be judged by the color of their skin and the company they keep, and they must sing downwind of the band. And I mean, I write that out and I give it to the guys because I want them to know I want this to have soul.
In other words, somebody listening to that track, you want them to close your eyes, and that's what you want them to
That's
see.
right. That's right. And I do that for all the songs, and I have all the lyrics written down here. Now, Scream Dream. You see it all at New York, all over Chicago. Wait till you see Detroit, we be going to a go-go. Fantasies at midnight with visions of a street rat, a little skullduggery split with a ball bat. Scream Dream. I wake up in a cold sweat, screaming like a wolf man. Fantasies delivered, please tell me who I am. If you pay attention, you will see a ripe clash. If you cruise the highway, you will cause a car crash. Another love song. And what I do is I outline all of these like this for all the guys so that they retain or attain the spirit necessary to really deliver these songs, because a recording should reflect a great performance of material, not just a representation of the material. Terminus Eldorado is cooped up inside the house. She had no place to go, grounded for the weekend. Her daddy done told her no. All alone with the TV set, thinking of things to do, gonna call up her best girlfriend because maybe she'll do it too. Alright, my daddy done bought a brand new car, shiny red as can be, convertible top and a CB2. Maybe he got it for me. She got the nerve, she got the keys, gonna take it for a little ride. Not old enough to drive alone, but she just couldn't stay inside. So they cruise downtown to the local run, showing off the new Cadillac. A little high, maybe do or die, she ain't gonna make it back. Big red Eldorado, much too fast for her. She forgot about tomorrow, that much is for sure. She did not see the tandem gravel truck passing her on the curve. Too much fun and a little too luck. She didn't have time to swerve. Oh, terminus, terminus, terminus Eldorado. Another love song.
Right.
And then it's got a...
Like a 1980s Benito Pack. Huh?
Could be, could be. And I do that on all the songs. Outline, hard as nails, here I am, I was sent to put it to you. I'm a man, I'd like to slip it through you. On my way to my final destination, I will not sleep till I rock the nation. Wango Tango, oh, you gotta hear that. Wango Tango would be the best song I've ever written.
Really?
I think this next one is violent. Amazing shit. Just amazing shit, man. The whole fucking stage show is going to be all the new songs.
Is it?
Just fucking incredible.
When's the album due out?
Mid-April.
And you go on tour after that?
Yeah. Well, we go on tour 1st of April. Do 25 cities in the month of April. Yeah. Hot shit, man.
Mm-hmm.
So with this master, direction booklet on the whole album, everybody has a real good feel for how she goes.
You mentioned you're singing a little bit earlier here.
Yeah, I'm singing 7 out of the 10 songs.
So you're obviously getting more confident in your voice.
Yeah, well, I'm getting more capable in my voice. I've always had the confidence, a little overconfidence at times. But I think with songs like Cat Scratch Fever, Wang Dang, Sweet Poontang, and Paralyzed in the last album, I mean, I can definitely cut certain songs, but on the new album, I mean, that song, that took some real vocalizing, and I fucking cut the mustard, man, the royal mustard. So I'm jumping on it, man. I'm singing all the songs I want to now.
Does it take you many stabs at a song before you come up with a vocal you're happy with?
No, usually first or second time, because if I'm going to be able to do it, I'm going to do it right off.
Same thing with solos?
Same thing with solos. Almost all my solos are first take solos. I mean, I could probably improve on them, but they got the thrust, The name of the game is feel.
Mm-hmm. So basically a Nugent song is rhythm track, a rhythm guitar, and overdubbing solos and vocals.
Yep.
But with this thing here, I mean, all your albums still have a real live feel, which is obviously something you go for.
Right, yeah, and that's by multiplying the guitars when necessary to fatten them up, to make them denser, because live you can get that out of sheer volume and live sound, the ricochet factor.
Right.
I had to coin that fucker, the ricochet factor.
Yeah.
But in the studio, obviously, again, the microphone is not a human ear, and you've got to accommodate it, and that means, playing games with string sizes and amplifiers and microphone configurations, and boy, we try them all.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy with my sound. I think it sounds just like an escaped mongrel.
Can you give me a general rundown of the guitars and amps that you are using, not specifically in each track, but just in general?
Sure. I can give you the complete list. I use Fender Super Twin Reverbs, usually everything floored. I use an old Gibson Maestro amp with everything floored. It's a 112-inch speaker amplifier, real small. I use an old Gibson Bell. I think it was even before Gibson actually had their name. It was a Bell amp, B-E-L-L, with a 112-inch speaker that I use for almost all my solos. The typical Bell amplifier sound is the sound on Cat Scratch Fever. Real meaty, like a big giant live sound, but not. That's the run of the amps. The guitars I use are my Birdland and a 57 Les Paul that I got from Billy Gibbons, and a 55 Stratocaster that I got from my friends the Nallies, N-A-L-L-I, in Ann Arbor. And I only use those at 1 or 2 times, like to fatten up a rhythm sound or something. But the Birdland is used on every song for solos. Every solo's done with the Birdland.
What about pedals? Other effects?
In this album, not a one.
Really? What was on the beginning of?
The No, sometimes when you get feedback, just naturally, the overworking components of the amp and just the resonance will pick up overtones and harmonics and harmonies in the air, and it literally will sound like a chord.
God, it's incredible. I thought it was like some kind of a.
No, that's sheer
There's some
fucking
pedal that you can
feedback.
get that sounds like Hendrix used to use, where you can hear the harmony in the note when he's playing it.
Yeah. It is an amazing sound. See, here's all there's more than two.
Oh yeah. It's like a whole chord in every note.
It's just harmonics and overtones and driving sons of bitches, man. Jesus Christ.
So you've always been kind of a purist. You really never mess with pedals.
No, not really. It's kind of interesting though. On the State of Shock album, on the song State of Shock, I used a flanger for the theme line on the guitar. On Paralyzed, I used the wah-wah a little bit, but I think that's about it.
So I mean, it's just like doubling guitars and
Yeah.
that kind of thing, adding
Yeah.
digital delay, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we use some DDL, and we use the harmonizer sometimes to slightly offset the tone to expand it. We'd use that on One Woman solo on the Weekend Warriors album. But for the most part, I just yank and crank.
So a Nugent album comes together pretty quickly then? It's
Yeah, we recorded the whole album in 3 weeks.
Really?
I think the longest we've ever spent was Free For All, and that was about 8 weeks because at the time the singer in the band was, so lame you couldn't get him to do anything, so that's why I had Meatloaf come in. Then Meatloaf just knocked him off because he's so great.
Does anybody else in the band write?
Oh, they all write, but unfortunately it never surfaces on my album because I just write too many songs for me to ever get all the licks in. No, life ain't long enough for me to get all my licks in. An album surely ain't long enough for me to get my guitar licks in. So I play all the guitars in the album and some of the bass parts.
Do you really?
Yeah. Listen back on Cat Scratch, the Dog Eat Dog bass line, that's me playing. And the Hammer Down bass line, that's me playing bass. On the Live Gonzo album, the bass never recorded properly the night of the good recording, Baby Please Don't Go. I overdubbed the bass on it.
Really?
And listen to it, man. It sounds like a jackhammer on the rag. Just honking. Just a prowling bass part, man.
Why have a band in there at all? Would you like to do the whole thing yourself?
Oh, I'd like to, but you get an expanded dimension to some degree with the other musicians' feel. I'm no drummer by any stretch of the imagination. I can only play hammering bass lines. Obvious master of the guitar, so I play all those parts. So that's about it. And I'm getting into most of the vocals now too.
Do you play any acoustic guitar now?
Not in this album, I haven't. I have in the past. Not much. I think the only time was on a song called Sasha, written about my little girl, on the Tooth Fang Claw album when I wrote when she was born on the Discreet label. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yeah. Just having the guitar player cover make people look at you in a different way?
No, I don't think so.
Do you look at yourself in a different way?
No, no way. Those kind of recognition factors don't motivate me in any way.
Don't they?
It's a nice added attraction to the basic theme, but I really don't care. My reward and my award and my gratification comes from the sweating mass of rock and roll, fellow rock and rollers every night. I mean, I'm just one of them, so I just happen to be able to play like a motherfucker.
Is there anything new that you've heard that you liked?
I think the new Deguelo album by ZZ Top is probably one of the all-time masterpieces ever recorded.
I really like it.
It's unbelievable.
Amazing, isn't it? Boys were just in town. I'm a friend of Billy.
Fantastic. Just, they got more feeling than a whole shipload of nigger slaves, man. They are the greatest. I listen to that album all the time. I've always thought they were just phenomenal live anyhow. And on record. They're classic. They're real rockers, man.
Manic mechanic.
Yeah. Crazed. Well, Billy wishes he would have wrote Terminus Eldorado. When Billy hears Terminus Eldorado, he's going to go, now why didn't I think of that? I'm low down enough for that kind of shit. He's going to enjoy that song.
So you guys...
Billy and I get along real good.
Do you? You talk and hang out?
Oh, yeah, sure. We go hunting together and everything.
Have you ever... you've never played together, have you? On a
Oh,
bill?
sure.
Really?
Years ago. Years ago, we opened the show for him, blew him off stage. We're trying to... I'm negotiating with him now, or at least my management is, to try and get them to do some of the summer big outdoor things with us.
Really?
I think it'd be perfect. And I'd be glad to close for him or go before him. It don't matter to me. I'll blow everybody's ass open no matter where I go on. So I don't really care, because that's usually a management consideration.
Uh-huh.
So I don't really give a shit. So I just like to play together.
You listen to Van Halen at all?
Van Halen's very good. Some of their stuff just sounds too nursery rhyme to me.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it sounds like Starlight Vocal Band, but some of the stuff is real good, real good. And Eddie's probably one of the greatest guitar players out right now.
Yeah. That's good.
Real good.
Heard of a guy called Eric Johnson? Texas guy? I think they're handled by the ZZ Top people. Real hot. Ask Billy about him.
I've heard about him. Okay, a young kid.
Young, pretty young, like 24, 25.
Yeah.
Trio. Warner's is interested in him.
Yeah, I think I've heard that name.
Yeah. Real hot.
Yeah.
Really good. Does new wave of punk mean anything to you at all?
Nah. I think it's healthy, but it's such a it's like they missed the boat and they're trying to swim after the fucker, you know. That was a lot of what I hear. It's called punk or new wave. Sounds like stuff that was rejected in 1960, and they're trying to recapture that original spirit and enthusiasm, which is a great objective and a commendable pursuit. But unfortunately, it's not to be had. You know, you either were there or you weren't, and they weren't. And you know, everybody's going, it's good time music. Well, fuck them. I mean, sure, it's good time music. But so is Van Halen and Cheap Trick and ZZ Top and Ted Nugent. We still got rhythm and play in tune and have some interesting elements to the music that you know, we have talented musicians in the band that can really play good rhythm. I guess the Police are sometimes considered new wave, but I don't. I just consider them an out-and-out, outstanding rock and roll band.
You like them?
That plays an occasional reggae song that they happen to do sensationally. Yeah, I think the drummer, bass player, and the Police are two of the most outstanding musicians ever. Ever.
Any other projects you're involved in besides this film you mentioned? And
Oh, we're putting a movie together with Peter Beard. You know what Peter is? He's an African naturalist. He lived over in Africa for a number of years. He's done a number of books. The End of the Game. He's currently dating Cheryl Tiegs, and he did the big African expose with Cheryl Tiegs for TV and movies and magazines. He and I are putting together a script based on my African safari, where I just made it to the California Jam in time, and I'm doing the soundtrack with some bonsai warriors over there.
Really?
And getting some Africa rhythms and playing around with that.
I was gonna
But
mention
that's
that.
in the near future. That's in the next couple of years sometime.
I figured you'd do a soundtrack at some point.
Sure, I'd love to do
Natural
that.
thing for you to do.
I'm also getting heavily involved with this off-road racing and discussing soundtracks for some off-road race films.
Really?
Because my music obviously is off-road and racing. So I'm deeply involved with that. I'm racing 4 or 5 major races this year.
Are you really?
Yeah, Riverside, Long Beach Grand Prix possibly. Definitely the off-road race at the Coliseum this year. Watkins Glen in New York. Possibly the Mid 400 and possibly the Baja 500 and 1000.
Off-road racing is what kind of cars?
4-wheel drive, usually
4-wheel.
Jeeps, vans, pickups, not vans, but Jeeps, Broncos, pickup trucks. 4-wheel drive, off-road, broken terrain, gonzo, suck on a rock, chew on some dirt racing. You know,
Great.
really exciting.
Your managers cringe when you tell them things like that?
A little bit. But that's why they work for me.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah, things couldn't be better, man. The band is the best band I've ever had. Spirits are flying into the outer reaches, rock them. Everybody's really excited.
Great.
This is for Jap Magazine, isn't it? Because we're really going to give it a priority attempt to get over to Japan in 1980, but it doesn't look like we're going to be able to. The earliest we'll probably be able to get back is March of 81, a year from now. So, because we hope to have another album out then, half live and half studio.
A double album?
No, I think just single. But we really had a good time in Japan, and this be it. Best songs, best rock and roll, the most outrageous tour ever. We're playing, like I said, over 23 nights in April. And we're touring June, July, August, September. We're going to Europe in August. To ball peen some foreigners with the US of A rock. And it's going to be the Gonzo tour of all times ever bestowed upon young white people. And I can't wait.
You ever thought about writing a book?
I've written a lot of short stories based on my experiences. They're all just sitting in a drawer at home. Oh yeah, I've thought about it, but I can't sit still that long.
Yeah.
You know.
Because
I
you're good
might-
with words, you know.
Yeah, I might possibly be able to dictate one and have somebody else write it. Which I guess is a pretty typical arrangement nowadays. Yeah. Jan Golab? Jan has approached me. Jan writes for We. Jan has approached me. He'd like to do one. But,
Is that the one who did the story on you?
yeah, great story.
Yeah,
Great story.
I remember that.
Yeah, things be happening. Here's a proposed album cover for Scream. This is just a rough, just to give you an idea. I think it's got good quality.
Yeah.
But I did a photo session with Lynn Goldsmith last month where I actually did this. I pumped and I pumped and I pumped and I worked up sweat and the veins were popping and the muscles were expanding. And I screamed. It looked like I should be locked up immediately. I mean, it looked like somebody introduced a crowbar straight up my ass, man. But they're really intense, really offensive looking. But I mean, if you're going to do something, you might as well offend somebody. So I'm thinking the photographs are going to be it, and this might be an auxiliary illustration.
Could almost be like a dolly thing, you know, with the strings.
Right. A lot of potential. I'd like to call the album Wango Tango, but I don't know how to depict that.
So how'd you come to stay at the Biltmore?
Well, I came out here for the Grammys and gave out the
Right.
awards, and this was the official hotel. This hotel isn't exactly used much by it.
I don't think so. I think it's too far.
Yeah, it's not in the heart, is it, of the happening.
It's a nice old hotel, but...
Yeah, oh, it's real nice. Yeah, I got this suite for $38 a night. You believe that shit?
Swear?
Swear to God. It was a discount, I guess, of some nature.
Huh.
Like half. I'm sure.
Yeah, at
'cause
least.
this has got to be a
Ridiculous.
$80, $90 a night room. Which nauseates me.
Great.
Yeah, I like it out here.
Do you?
Yeah, I'll be back. We'll be touring the West Coast starting starting May 23rd.
Where are you going to be, do you know?
San Bernardino, Fresno, maybe Bakersfield, San Diego, Long Beach, Forum. The whole fucking thing. Can't wait. I need it.
Getting the urge, huh?
Yeah, really, really bad. Been off hunting since September, boy. Got it bad.
Okay.
Think that should cut the mustard?
Mhm.
The royal mustard?
The Royal.
Speaking of royal mustard, all right, I think I had enough time to tape. I want to give you an exclusive, Steve. I single-handedly killed disco. I mean, you've heard that it died. Well, I am now about to bestow upon the earth that I killed it. I first discovered it, and I put on some gay apparel and some nice, tight red satin clothes, and went across the world, Germany and Europe, and all through the United States, and I sprayed deer piss on all the mirror balls. And when the lights heated that shit up, everybody got so nauseous from the stench they started puking and slipping and sliding in their own vomit, and they started avoiding the discos. But I figured it was my beck and call, it was my duty, and it was the least I could do for my fellow rock and rollers who don't want to see neuterism strike. So there you have it. Hold the applause. Just send checks.
I think disco is over.
You bet your
did
ass. Yeah.
Why'd you wait so long?
Fuck them if they can't take a joke. There's a lot of places to go to.
That's right. Santa Claus got to cover a lot.
That's
of
a lot of territory, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was just a passing phase anyhow. It was like a flashback to violent dreams. So live it up. Eternally yours, the live-up master himself, Nujo Extremo Biondo.